Hey everyone, Oddball Comics here. So today, we're going to dive into Web of Venom, Carnage Born. So, let's get started. Cletus Cassidy was born on a Wednesday in the Ravencroft Institute for the Criminally Insane. It's also where here, Cletus died for the first time, born choking on his umbilical cord, wrapped around his throat. But 19 minutes after his death, his eyes opened glowing red, with his first official memory was being sent to hell. From this point on, Cletus never saw the world the same as us. In his mind, Cletus was never mutilating his victims, he was just setting them free. And from here we fast forward to the day he would become Carnage, sharing his jail cell with Eddie Brock, also known as Venom. This day changed everything, not knowing yet that he'd become the agent of the Void, the man behind the murders and disasters everywhere. Cause now knowing truth is chaos, and God is Carnage. With the recent events of Null descending once again on Earth, showing the world of a new God, a few came to his side, praising and worshipping him, claiming Cassidy was born to do this, born to set them free. As the cult gathered, we see carvings in the walls, telling the story of Null's first encounter on Earth with Thor. But as they chant forever and together into the void, the speaker begins to go back to talking about Cletus, about his past, when he has been killed over and over again. But one thing always happens, he comes back, because the abyss is not death. We then cut to the body of Carnage floating in space as he begins to crash land towards the earth. As he flew towards the ground, his body began to burn, but the symbiote covers him, trying to protect him towards his descent, sacrificing himself in the process to protect Cletus, creating a crater where he lands. The locals called the authorities to pick up the body, but with a quick surprise attack hearing the news from this, the cult ends up retrieving the body back to their base of operations. But that's not the only thing they have with them today. We see a black vial which contains a sample of the Grendel symbiote. Stealing this from the maker and his data, we come to find out that every time a symbiote switches hosts, it leaves a genetic imprint on itself covering the host's DNA, calling this the Codex. And why this is important is, theorizing this, we can use it to communicate with information about the host to its collective symbiote hive, which also means, knowing this, they can talk to God himself, Null. The speaker begins to put the sample into the iron casket of Cletus, and it starts to wrap around him as he screams in pain. Cletus punches through the metal capsule, letting it explode around him. But when he emerges, the crowd begins to chant once more. Suddenly, the crowd grows silent as Carnage begins to mumble like he's talking to someone who isn't there, which tells us Null and Carnage are connected and they're fighting for dominance. With Cletus eventually gaining control, the speaker of the cult walks towards him, taking off her robe, revealing to us she has scorned another symbiote, and she offers herself to Carnage to help him grow, to help him feed. Carnage turns around to all of his followers, now learning about what the codexes are, and that claiming all of them from previous hosts would let them connect to the hive. He sets out on a journey to kill all the previous hosts and become whole, so he can release Null himself. Because after all, this isn't murder. He's just setting them free.